Hi everyone, this is Delight. I am Essie and Melody and Mercy's mom. I've been briefly in a couple of their other videos, but I've been encouraged to get a little more involved, and so I was trying to think of something that I could do. And I've seen that a couple of you out there have done introduction videos of yourself, and I've found them really interesting to hear your stories of how you've gotten into reborn dolls. And so I thought, well, that would be fun to do, and tell you a little bit of my background. First of all, I was born and raised on a farm in Minnesota, and always loved dolls. And I actually have a large family. I married my childhood sweetheart when I was 18. We are still married today, and I'm 52 now, so that, you know, it's been a number of years. But we have 10 children, ranging in age from 33 as our oldest all the way down to 6 years old as my youngest. That's Mercy, that you've heard on some of the videos. And I just have loved being a mother. That has just been my favorite thing in the world. And that started very young. I guess I was told that even when I was a baby, I would pick up my own foot and cradle it in my arm and rock it back and forth like a baby. So I've just always wanted to be a mom, and that's probably why I've loved dolls so much. And as a child, I just saved every doll that I ever got, and I made dolls out of anything that I found, whether it was potatoes or sticks or acorns, kittens. Even if I'd find a dried up salamander, I would play with it like a little doll. So just always loved dolls. But when I was 9 years old, I inherited a doll that was actually my great-grandmother's. It's an old china doll with the leather hands and feet. They're so worn that the horsehair is sticking out where the fingers used to be. But when I inherited this doll, I was very, very fascinated by it. And within a couple of years of that, my mom had found a big, thick book on dolls. It was called The Spinning Wheels Book of Dolls, I think, and a big thick book. And I read that book from cover to cover over and over, and it just was fascinated by antique dolls. They'd make me wonder, what were the stories behind these dolls? And I actually found the history on this doll in particular, and there was a picture of it in this book, and learned that it was made in the first doll factory in America back in 1885. And so that was very, very fascinating to me. And so my mom and I, my mom is just the most wonderful mom in the world, and any interest that I had, she would also take up, just to be involved in my life and to do things with me, and we just had so much fun together. And so we both got interested in antique dolls. She'd bring me to doll shows, and we even collected some antique dolls together over the years. And then through going to these shows, I also gradually started meeting some other doll artists that were kind of some of the very first doll artists around back in the 70s. And some names like Suzanne Gibson and Faith Wick come to my mind. I've met many of them personally, and in fact, Faith Wick took me on a personal tour through her museum, and it told me all about how she got into sculpting, showed me the kind of clay she used, and really encouraged me. And this was when I was about 14 years old. And so I was very impressed by that, and I right away got some clay and started working with it. And even though I would be embarrassed now of some of my first sculptures, my parents were so encouraging to me and would tell me I was doing wonderful. And my dad would just say, hey, you know, you can really do this. And and would encourage me by purchasing materials and kilns and the stuff that I needed to do further work. And I eventually started learning how to do porcelain reproduction dolls too. And here's an example of a porcelain reproduction doll. And that took off quite quickly, and I started making these dolls, and my mom would sew wonderful, wonderful clothes for them. She's just a very talented seamstress, and so we would do this together, and we would go to doll shows and sell these dolls. In fact, by the time I was 16, I had a fair little business going, selling these dolls. And in the meantime, I was still sculpturing, and my sculpting gradually was improving, and I started selling some of my sculptures too then, in the late 70s, early 1980s, and gradually I became a bit known in the doll world for my sculptures, and a couple of doll magazines did articles on me, which was a real boost, and that was really exciting in those days. Here's just a few examples of my sculptured work. Here's one of my little babies, a little baby in a shell. I did a lot of these little solid sculptured babies, and then I also did a lot of larger pieces, such as this one here, a lot of fairies and fantasy dolls, and these were starting to sell quite well for me. I also did some life-size babies. I sculptured some of my own children in life-size. They're packed away right now, so I can't really show you, but yeah, anyway, that's what I did for a number of years. But during the mid-90s, I was having more and more children of my own. By the mid-90s, I had 6 children, and a lot of them were real little ones, and my sculpturing just needed to slow down there for a while, because I was so busy raising my family, and I really didn't want to miss out on their childhoods. We also homeschool and do homesteading, and we have so many other interests that even though I did a little bit of sculpting through the years, for the last 20 years I've just been more focusing on my children and doing things with them. We have so many interests. A lot of my children have been into nature study and collecting all kinds of nature things. We also are very artsy. We like to do arts and crafts, and my daughters and I have done a lot of sales together where we sell even specialty breads that we make, and specialty teas. We do tea blending and that kind of stuff. We also are real into herbal things, going out and gathering herbs in the wild and making a lot of products from them, anything from salves to body products and homemade soaps and things like that. So we've had too many interests to fit in one lifetime, but we've enjoyed that so much. But all of us girls have just still loved and collected dolls over the years. My daughters were real into American Girl dolls and My Twin dolls and things like that, and so we collected a number of those, and they played with them over the years. And then just recently, though, we started learning about reborns. Well, reborns are just, you know, there's just nothing that compares to them. And a couple of years ago, my daughters just started dreaming of owning a reborn one day, and so I started looking at them online, you know, at eBay and whatever, and oh, it was just so hard to know how to order one online and know if I would be satisfied with the quality and whatever if I was to try to surprise them with one. And so 2 Christmases ago, I just really ended up contacting a reborn artist that doesn't live real far from us, and she agreed to try to get one done in time for Christmas for the girls. And so this was going to be a surprise. And so when I met her then, when she had the doll finished, she had done a really wonderful job. Her name is Judy Bassand. I was very pleased with it. And here she had brought another little baby. She said she likes to occasionally give one away, and she gave me a littler reborn for my youngest daughter, Mercy, at the time. And so then I thought, oh boy, that my 3 girls that were so wanting a reborn, I had 2 now to give them. I thought, oh, if I could just have one more, then they could each get a reborn for Christmas. And so with some help from my mom and whatever, we scraped up enough money to order one more reborn from her. And so then she got it done in time for our Christmas celebration. And when I gave those reborn dolls to my girls, it had to be the funnest Christmas ever. It was so fun watching the girls open those boxes. In fact, we should put that on a video sometime so you could see. They were just squealing. They couldn't believe that they not only got, I let them open one to begin with, the one for Mercy, and they were just so thrilled that they were going to have a reborn to share. And then when I pulled out the other 2 boxes, they just could not believe that they were each going to have a reborn. And they just had so much fun with those dolls over the next year, and we had so much fun showing them to people. And when I showed them to my brother, he just looked at me and he said, "You can do this, you could do this." And I guess, I had thought a little bit of trying, but it was really my brother's encouragement that I decided, okay, I'm going to try making a reborn. I guess I was a bit scared to try something because if I just was afraid that I might not succeed at it, and so I ordered a kit for each of the girls and decided, well, maybe the next winter then I would try to make them each a reborn. And so these are my first 3 reborns that I did, and I just made these this last February, I think is when I started them. And it was really challenging, but it was so fun. And it just, with all the background that I had in art and the former dolls that I made, doing the porcelain painting and whatever, really it probably gave me a boost. And I was so glad that I'd had that experience. I think it helped with doing my first reborn. And I have a long ways to go. I mean, I will not be satisfied until I'm doing a lot better than this. But I was really, really thrilled and happy with how my first reborns turned out. Now I'm kind of hooked on it, I guess. And I could see that we'll be doing this for a while. And so I'm, not going to get a lot made in a year's time, I'm sure, because, like I said, we are a very, very busy family with all my children and so many things going on. But I really, really am enjoying this. And what was I going to say? Then my daughters just came across the YouTube videos on reborns out there probably more than a year ago. They've been watching all these YouTube videos, and they also started begging me, could we have a YouTube channel? And I was really hesitant for a long time. I guess I have a lot of cautions about, the computer stuff, and it took a lot of convincing to get me to, but I finally said, okay, I'll let you try it. And when I've seen how much fun the girls have had doing this YouTubing and meeting people in the YouTube community, I guess it's called, I have seen that it has been a good thing, and they've had a lot of fun with that. And I've learned to just know enough of a lot of you out there to realize there's really, really good people out there in the doll world still. And I'd kind of been removed from the doll world for a number of years, and there's just so many sweet and kind people out there that my daughters have gotten to know, and so I'm excited for them, and I'm just enjoying it too. And so our goals for the future, I guess, are just to have a lot of fun with my daughters like I had with my mom for so many years in the doll world. And you know, we'd like to eventually get to some doll shows, and we'd like to try selling some of our reborns. My daughters have been making reborns now too, and they're just so talented. I just can't believe how talented they are. And I'm excited for their work to get out there and for people to see how well they do. And you know, it'd be fun to sell some dolls here and there. And yeah, so that's kind of an introduction, and it was long, but we've had a long story in the doll world, I guess, for many years. And I would really love to hear your stories of how you've gotten into either collecting reborns or making them, either one. And so yeah, I guess we're making this into a tag, and we'd love to hear how you got into reborns. So yeah, so that's all I've got to share right now, and I hope to be in more videos in the future. Bye.